Hey guys, it's Horace here with Infinity Wrestling Talk. I got Zubin with me. We're gonna go through and kind of preview the blood round for the night and the semis. So we're gonna do just like we did yesterday. Go weight by weight, using this website over here, this nice interactive bracket, which I will put in the description. But we're gonna start at 125. So 125 got Lilidol and Spratley. Spratley has been really impressing me so far. I thought Seymour was gonna get him honestly, but he came out, got the first takedown, really was in command of that whole match. Lilidol looked a little shaky against Peterson. For that reason, I'm gonna go the upset route and go Spratley.
Nice. Yeah, I'm liking Spratley all the way.
Next up, we got it went kind of into chaos with Rand and McGowan. Um, Ventresca's match with McGowan was really weird. Got a caution point in tiebreakers, and I thought he was going to win there, but then McGowan wrote him out, and he just couldn't ride him out. So sets up McGowan Moran. I really like McGowan's talent. He just never seemed to put it together. So for this one, I'm going to go McGowan.
Oh wow, nice pick. Yeah, I don't know. I think Moran's got something, but we'll see.
I think that's an interesting match for sure. Then we move down to the blood round. Seymour and Provo. That one, I think I just got to go Seymour here. I like what I see from Seymour a little more than Provo. I think he's going to edge him out and be a little grittier. Then we got Peterson, Klinsky.
Jersey
Pe-
boys.
Peterson looked good against Lilidol. He's putting together a good tournament. He always seems to, come out at the NCAA and put on a good show. So I'll take Peterson there. Ventresca Robinson. Ventresca is 4-0 against Robinson. Every match I think is in tiebreakers, which makes sense for Ventresca. So I think he's just got Robinson figured out. Keep him there. And then Volk Strickenberger. This will be an interesting match. Both these guys are really dangerous. But I'm just gonna kind of stick with chalk and go Volk.
Wow, eliminating the returning national champion.
Yeah,
Wow, that's why they.
I think Ventresca's got his number. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely why they call it the blood round.
That's right. It is gonna be crazy. Let's move to 33.
Oh, no surprise here, right? So, the seeds fell how they fell. Forrest versus Seidel. This is probably Horace's most anticipated match that he's wanted to see. But I'm pretty excited.
100%.
I'm pretty excited to see it too. Feidel's the only person to give Jax a match this year, and I know Horace is leaning towards Seidel, but I got to give it to Jax. I personally think he's gonna find a way and just continue the great story that is Jax Forrest.
I don't know if he'll get those backs like he did last time. Seidel had him beat on his feet, but we'll see.
Yeah. So this one's the rubber match, right? Blaze versus Davino. Blaze got it in the duel. Davino got it in the Big Tens. Both of them went to tiebreakers. I honestly think Davino is just wrestling better. Um, I haven't. I mean, obviously Blaze is good. I just it's a coin flip for me, and I'm gonna go with Davino.
Yeah, it's a coin flip for me too. I like Davino and Davino Jax would be awesome. So I hope that's how it works out.
Sure. So we drop down to the blood round, right? Larkin Knox. Uh, I I'm gonna go with Larkin. I think he's the best guy in the field on the backside, so I think he takes that match there. Uh, Van D and Baker, I think, I'm gonna homer on Big Ten here and go with Van D. I think he has the matchup there, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that Baker actually wins that. Bird and Arbor. I don't know if Bird can recover. I mean, he's good. He's obviously last year's champ. Um, but I don't know what's going through his head right now. I know he's definitely wanting to win another one, so let's see what he does on the backside. But I'm actually going to go with Bird. Just can't handle the loss.
Ooh, another national champ getting knocked out in the
Yeah,
blood round.
yeah. Um, Ayala Elite. I think this is a really interesting match. And I think Ayala squeaks by. Yeah, he's been wrestling tough all tournament, and he's definitely putting on a good show. Even when in his match against Blaze, he wrestled a tough match. It's just Blaze just has his number.
Yeah, I agree with all those. I think Lark and Knox will be just interesting to watch. They're both super funky. One thing of interest to note, and I'll be noting this as we go, two guys in the blood round lost in the first round and fought their way back, and Van D and Leet. And uh, so we got Van D going through, and you said you had Ayala right over Leet.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so we got one guy continuing to try to be the ultimate road warrior. See if he can make it all the way
He's
back to third.
gonna do a KSAC run, huh?
He's trying. There's 12 guys right now that are on still on the road, that long road. So we'll move
Yeah,
to 41. So 41, I think this is probably how a lot of people had it going. Mendez over Stanich. I did look it up. Mendez did major Stanich last year. I mean, he looks like a wild animal out there. I don't think that changes. I'm gonna take Mendez.
yeah, for sure. I know that they wrestled each other at 41 last year.
Yes, I believe so. Then moving to the other semi, we've got Hardy and Vega. We've seen this two times already this year. Um, I personally think that Vega is a younger, better version of Brock Hardy. They're very similar, but Vega is just he's got something. He's got the it factor. So he majored him, then he pinned him. I don't see why that doesn't continue. So I'm gonna take Vega here.
Oh man, he's gonna break the curse of beating the same guy 3 times in the same year and then in a national tournament. So
Well, he's got some
I
sort of voodoo about him. So if anyone
he
can break the
does.
curse, he will.
Yeah, for sure. I like Vega on that pick too.
Then moving down here, Echemindia versus Griffin. Echemindia, I he's had a great year. He just ran to Stanage. I think there was a clear top five at this weight, so I'm going to keep Echemindia going through. Von Bauer, Composto. That's an interesting match. Composto actually beat Von Bauer at last year's tourney and knocked him down to the seventh place match. It's a close match, so this is a coin flip. So just to have the upset, I'll go Composto.
Nice. I like it.
Bailey Henson. Uh, Bailey's been looking really good this tournament. He just ran into Vega, which is hard for anyone to run into. I think he's gonna do what it takes here. Get Henson, maybe get a takedown, and then Bailey's really tough on top. And
Yeah, for
then
sure.
last is Cornella, and honestly, I don't know. Nogel, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Uh, Cornella's been looking really good. I would love to give it to Nogel because he is the one guy here that lost in the first round is on that road back to the Road Warrior. But I got to give it to Cornella. I think his road ends here.
Yeah, I agree with all your picks, man. I mean, they're definitely gonna be some good hard fought matches here. So I like it.
All right, we'll move on to 49.
Hey man, Van Ness, dude, I think he's finally gonna put it together. I don't think he's gonna let Lamer upset him. Um, Even though it's set up all for Lamer to upset Van Ness, I'm gonna go with Van Ness here. I think he finally figured it out. I think he's gonna get to the national final, and I think he's gonna win. And that it might be because he's from Jersey too, so I don't really know.
Well, speaking of breaking curses, Van Ness's semi curse will be one he needs to break here. But
Yeah,
I,
for
I
sure.
agree. I think he will.
And then on the other side, Lackman McNeil, right? Everyone, a lot of people had him. I mean, you had him, Horace, so you said he had a great path. It definitely lines up for him to make the national final, and I'm excited for him. I think he's going to do it. And I think it's just goes more to that Michigan transfer voodoo they got over there. Anytime someone transfers to Michigan, they do really well. So I'm going to go with McNeil on that one.
Yeah, I like that pick. That was he had a really his quarter, McNeil's quarter. He was kind of losing and kept composed, came back and put Wazlewski on his back and pinned him. I think Valencia will come at him and be firing, but I agree. I think McNeil pulls it out.
Yep. And then to the backside. So Carter Young, Ryder Block. Both really tough, both Big Ten. Um, I'm gonna give it to Carter Young. I think he's been wrestling good all tournament. I think Ryder Block's gonna be a tough out, but I think he's gonna pull it out. I just have faith that Carter Young's gonna make a be an All American this year. For the next match, Swiderski. Uh, how do you pronounce that guy's last name?
Willicho.
Wilchel. Yep. It's Swiderski by a mile. He wrestled really tough in that quarterfinal match, and I just think he's gonna continue. And wow, this next match, super exciting. Uh, thought it was gonna be the semi match, right?
I thought it was
Uh,
going to be the final match.
or final match. Sorry, final match. You're right. He's 2-4. Um, Joy and Guy. Uh, Personally, I think uh Joy pulls this out, and it's really unfortunate for Guy because I think he's a really talented wrestler and should be an All American. It just happened to work out because this tournament is tough as nails and it knocks the best people back to the backside. And then for Wasilewski and Frost, I'm gonna go Wasilewski. Um, I think um, 10 is gonna put people through. It's the beginning of Coach Valenti's tear for that program, so I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I like all those picks. I would love to see Guy beat Joy, but I don't think he will. And the one guy in this round that lost in the first round was Willichel, so we've got his road ending here, which I agree with. I think Swiderski's just going to be too much for him to handle. Let's move to 57. 57, Duke and Robidou. I think Robidou is amazing. He obviously made some adjustments, beat Larkin. He came out and looked like he was in control of that match from the first whistle. But PJ Duke is just something else. Both of these guys they're going to be around for a long time. They're both freshmen. It's awesome. But I got to say, I see Duke in convincing fashion. I don't think Duke is really going to be tested at this tournament, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that pick. I think Rabidu's awesome, but Duke's too much.
And then move down this Waters, which you called it yesterday. You said Waters over Shapiro, and it
Yeah.
happened. So now we've got Waters and Taylor. Uh, this is a tough one for me to call. Honestly, Taylor had a bad national duels, and he lost to Duke in the Big Tens. But other than that, he's just been doing what he needs to do to win. But he doesn't ever really like open it up against anyone. And I think playing that game with Ty Waters might get him in trouble. So I'm actually gonna keep riding that upset wave and take Ty
Yes.
Waters here.
Yes. I'm excited for it. I think Waters is making the national final. He wants respect on his name, so I like that pick.
And then we move down to um, the blood round, Larkin Catcherbone. So this one kind of reminds me of the Mantanona and Soldano quarter where I
Yeah.
said anything can happen. I think it's the same thing. Catcherbone isn't quite ready for Larkin's level of scrambling, I don't think. So I've got Larkin going here. Cannon Swisher, Cannon, everyone was excited about him, and for good reason. He looked amazing, but then he got hurt, and he hasn't really been back to that level yet. I don't think he's all the way back, so I got to go Swisher here. Webster Owen. Owen is the lone guy in this blood round that lost in the first round, but just like we've done with a lot of them before, I think he's going to run into Webster here and just not have enough to get past him. Although Columbia's been surprising. I think we'll talk about one of them next at 65 for sure. And
Yeah.
then Shapiro Cardenas. So this one is interesting. It's actually they traded wins in the 2024 NCAAs. Cardenas beat him in the quarters, and then Shapiro beat Cardenas for third.
Wow.
So they've seen each other before. They've got a little bit of history. That was the last time they met. I think just, Shapiro off that loss, sometimes it fuels some people, and I think Shapiro is one of those type of guys. So I'm going to go Shapiro here.
Yeah, I like your picks. I was really hoping. I was really hoping Kai Owen made it, but Donnie Princeoff is there at Columbia. But I think you're right with all your picks.
Move on to 65. Speaking of Columbia,
Yeah, I think he ran into a brick wall here. So, Messenbrick is the best wrestler pound for pound, in my opinion. So, um, I mean, anything can happen, right? But I don't think anything happens to Messenbrick. So I'm gonna
he
put him in the final.
he looked human against Hepner. He only a decision,
It's, yeah,
no
6-0.
bonus.
But yeah, I think still, I don't think anyone's really at his level. So I can't give it to I can't make it go against Messenbrick in this tournament. It's
Yeah, and
just
I agree. I think, yeah, honestly, I think Messenrick was kind of in his head too, because they brought out a stretcher for Hepner, and he probably thought the match was over, and then Hepner just kept going somehow. So
yeah. The other side, Caliendo Blaze. So this is the match everyone wants to see on the bottom half of this bracket. Blaze beat Caliendo in the duel in Purdue. Um, Caliendo's been on a tear ever since. Yeah, I mean, I think he I think he's trying to right the ship. As I am going to go with Caliendo on this pick. I think he makes all the adjustments he needs, and he proves to the world that there's only one person better than him at this weight.
I agree with you. I think Caliendo is out to get revenge, and he's going to get it.
Yeah. All right, backside. Nico Ruiz
Mic off.
and Brignola. Um,
Mic
I
on.
think Ruiz takes it. They've been both been wrestling real tough this whole tournament, and so, but I just think Ruiz edges him out.
Yeah, they're
Um,
um they're 1-1 against each other this year.
oh, nice,
Both
nice.
in
Yes,
sudden victory. Brignola won in sudden victory, and then the last one, Ruiz won in tiebreakers. So they're evenly matched.
yeah. So I think Ruiz wins the rubber. Just for this one. Hepner Downey. I'm really interested in watching this match. I mean, it really just depends how hurt Hepner is. I mean, obviously you wrestle against Messenbrick, but when you run on adrenaline, you kind of can do things that you never thought you could. And after that adrenaline starts wearing off, I think he's gonna wear off too much, and Ryder Downey actually takes him. And then Denny and Sparks. Um, I'm gonna go with the Wolf Pack on this one. I like Denny to beat Sparks. No real necessary reason. I just think that he's just my pick. Could go either way, but I'm gonna go with Denny. CJ Parko and Patty Gallagher. So honestly, everything every analytic will probably tell me to go Gallagher, but I'm gonna go with the upset here. Why not CJ Parko
Yeah.
and 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 make things real interesting.
Yeah, I love all those picks. Like you said, Hepner definitely working off of adrenaline, so we'll see how. I think 100% Hepner gets him, but I think something happened to him, obviously. So that will be interesting to see. But yeah, these are all some good matches, and at this weight, actually, nobody lost in the first round has made it this far. They're all already out. So
Yeah.
moving to 74. 74, Haynes and Kennedy. Well, kind of like this is a story with a lot of these Penn State guys. I think Haynes is just at a different level. They've met three times, and it's been 10-3, 10-3, then 11-3. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's probably gonna be 12-3 or 11-3. I don't know, following the pattern, but I think
Yeah.
Haynes gets it done here.
Yeah, for sure.
Down here, Minto and Steed. Coming into this, I think a lot of people had Minto circled as the guy that was going to make it out of this bottom half and go face Levi in the finals. Honestly, that's what I thought too. Um, I thought it was going to be Ruiz here though, but I think Minto is just a little too dynamic on his feet. As long as he stays out of trouble with Steed, Steed has some length and he throws cradles from everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think Mento stays away from that. He's smart enough. He's dynamic. I think Mento gets the win. We will see that Mento Haynes.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think Minto technically is more sound than Steed, but yeah, you're right. Anywhere, anywhere Cradle's coming, so he's got to watch out.
Yes. And then we move down to the blood round. Harshla Ruiz. Man, this is one of those matches like you were talking about earlier where both of them probably deserve the AA, but one of them ain't going to because of the way the bracket fell. Um, this is this is a tough pick, but I think I'm going to lean Harshla in this one. So I think about the Wask Ruiz match, and Harshla is kind of the same archetype as Wask, just better. So I think I will lean Harshla here. Mancinona Singleton. Again, I love watching the Mancinonas wrestle, but Singleton is just fundamentally sound. He holds good position. Um, I think I like him here. And then
Oh, nice.
Wask Schubert. Uh, They actually wrestled earlier this year. Schubert won 5-4, so it was super close. That was in early December. Um, I'm just gonna lean on the Wask has been on a high so far this tournament. He wrestled Steed tough. He beat Ruiz. He beat Kelly in the first round, which is the one guy here that lost in the first round is still in the tournament. So I'm gonna take Wask, and then last guy, Ton Kelly. Again, like we've been saying for a lot of the guys, I think Kelly's road back ends here. Gaitan is just too solid. He's going to overwhelm him. And Gaitan will take the win and move to the Concy quarters.
Yeah, I like those picks, man. I mean, I would have went Mantanona, but I definitely see what you're saying about Singleton, and definitely don't disagree with you. Is I'm just hoping. I just love watching the Mantanonas wrestle, and I just want to see him keep wrestling. But I like your picks.
I 100% agree with you there. I love watching them wrestle too. Let's move on to 84.
Rocco Welsh. The man, I mean, he's a solid wrestler. He wins. If you want to put somebody in there and just get a win, hard fought win, you put in Rocco Welsh. He's not flashy. He doesn't do anything crazy. If you want an entertaining match, I wouldn't call Rocco Welsh, but if you want to win, you put in Rocco Welsh. I really like Brock Mantanona, right? I really want him to win, but I just think unless Mantanona can throw him and just catch him, Welsh just keeps great position. He doesn't really get into really too much danger. The only time I've ever seen him really in danger is against when he wrestled Ohio State and he wrestled Fishback and he got taken down twice. Outside of that, he's been in control of pretty much every match that I've seen him wrestle. So I'm gonna go with Welsh.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think, it's funny what you're saying. If you want a wrestler that's just going to win a hard fought match, you want Welsh. On the flip side, if you want a guy that's going to have an entertaining match, put
Yeah,
Mancinona. Um,
exactly.
I my claim to fame now, as I said yesterday, Mancinona or Sedano, one of them was getting pinned in the first period, and it worked out. Mancinona pinned him in the first period.
Yeah, definitely. Who, wow, yeah, Ferrari's proven himself. I guess, and he's looking to get that win against Welsh. I think he's on a mission. I don't know if he can beat McAnally. I really, ever since last year, and I saw McAnally wrestle just everybody tough. I've been really impressed with him. I think he's got a lot to show to offer. If he can get Ferrari out of position, out of that down on his knee position, and just takes it to him, I think he can actually edge out Ferrari. I think it's going to be a real tough match, real close. It's going to be a takedown type of match, um, and then a hard ride on top. But I'm going to go with McAnally for this.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's you know, I just don't want to see Angelo Ferrari versus Rocco Welsh in the finals. I don't know. They just might stare at each other for 7 minutes. So hopefully McAnally wins for that. But this is to me a coin toss. It could go either way.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Saldano against Campos, right? I would say Campos, but I'm gonna give my boy from New Jersey a shot. I'm gonna tell he transferred out of Rutgers because he didn't have a space and he's trying to prove something that Rutgers made the wrong decision. So I'm gonna say Saldano gets the pin there and
Love it.
gets the All-American on that. So that's my pick right there. Um, Silas Allred, Zach Ryder. I mean, we talked about this earlier. We don't really know if Allred's going to be out there. Ryder's wrestling tough. They're both injured, essentially, but I'm gonna go with Ryder just because don't really think Allred's going to be out there, but we'll see. Either way, I think Ryder squeaks it out. Sinclair Conway. The fourth seed, normally, they said a lot of people said he doesn't really deserve it from a small school. I don't think he's gonna All-American. I think everyone's gonna be right about this. Aiden Sinclair knocks him out. He's gonna come back, take third in a hard way. So that's Sinclair's my pick there. Um, and then my last pick, I think Rylan Rogers squeaks it out, and he's so I don't know much about either wrestler here. But if I had to pick one based off of stuff that I saw in the tournament, I would go with Ryan Rogers.
Well, I like it. Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I don't know much about either one of them either. Um, Sinclair, Conway. I will say I think Conway may have been able to squeak by some of these guys if he fell in a different spot, but just falling having Sinclair fall to him is not good for him. And
Yeah,
then same thing like we were talking about with All Red. You're right. I don't know if he's even going to wrestle. He had to be helped off the mat. So let's move to
yeah,
97. So 97 Bar Novak. Uh, Novak's looked decent this tournament, but again, you can almost say it for like 6 or 7 of the Penn State guys. Josh Barr is just on a different level. Um,
yeah.
he
Totally agree.
will attack, attack, attack. He wrestles you for the entire 7 minutes as hard as anyone out there wrestles. So I see him bonusing Novak most likely and pushing through to the finals.
Yeah, and he's still on his 100%
Yes,
uh, bonus rate, right?
he is.
Yeah, yeah. No one's gonna touch him.
And down here we've got Little and Merrill. I like Merrill a lot. As we've talked about, freshman year, the freshman, he's one of those freshmen. But he's got returning All-American Stephen Little. Stephen Little just he finds a way to get it done. He had a kind of a tough match with McDaniel in the quarter, but he found the way. He's pretty long. He's got a really nice high crotch he hit McDaniel with in at the end of that match to seal the deal. So I think he edges Merrill here by a slight margin, but I got to give it to Little.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm hoping for Merrill just for my fantasy league sake, but I agree. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Barr and Little in the finals.
And then moving down to the blood round, John and Hawks. Interesting thing to note about 197, all four of these matchups have a loser of a quarter versus a guy that lost in the first round. So John's been on that long road back, ran into Colton Hawks. Hawks had an amazing tournament to get to where he's at in the bracket, but I think John edges him out here. He's going to be riding that high of, already winning 3 on the backside, and he's just going to keep it going.
Yeah, I agree there.
Giog Posada, for my fantasy purposes, I really wish I could give it a Giog. I mean, I thought he was going to give me 0 after he lost in the first round, but I just don't think he's going to have enough for Posada. Posada's been looking really good. He had a pretty good ACC. I think Posada takes the one here.
Yeah.
Cotton Arnold. I think I know which way you would lean. Um, they had a super tight match at Big Tens, went to sudden victory. Seems like Gabe Arnold is only in tight matches, and
Yeah.
he's it's out there. He's doing what the team needs. He's wrestled at 74, 84, and 97 this year. He's just the ultimate like teammate. He's a utility guy. So for the story, I think I'm going to take Gabe Arnold.
Oh, there's shot to the heart.
I know,
Yeah.
but him All Americaning would be amazing just for
Yeah.
what kind of teammate he is. And then McDaniel Real, gotta say, I mean Real's looked pretty good on the backside here, making it back, but he hasn't had the hardest path on the back if you look. And McDaniel is just solid. Like I said, he pushed little to his limits, so I'm gonna have to go McDaniel here to make the Consi quarters.
Man, those are some good picks. I mean, I like them, but I mean, except for the Gabe Arnold pick, but I'm
I
a
knew
homer
that one
on
was
that
going to
pick.
hurt you a little bit, but
Yeah, but that's cool. I like it.
move to 285.
All right, last weight, man. Here we go. Younger Bastida, AJ Ferrari. Bastida's on wrestling on another level, right? We've been talking about these Penn State guys on another level, and he's Bastida's been wrestling on another level this year. And as much as I like AJ Ferrari, I know you like AJ Ferrari.
I do.
I don't know. I don't know if Ferrari can withstand what Bastida's doing. I mean, he could. He definitely could. It's you know, it is possible, but if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Bastida in this match.
Ferrari did beat him last time they wrestled
Yeah, but I
in
think they're too.
2021.
Yeah, I think they're completely different wrestlers now.
I
But
agree.
yes, I agree. All right, Idali and Crumble. So, you know, I I would say to me, if I want the upset here, I like Idali's story from going from Campbell to Michigan and just making that transfer story even more big that Michigan takes all transfers and puts them as All-Americans or, in the national finals. So I'm gonna go with Godali for the upset on this.
Love it. Yeah, I like Godali there too. I think, like a lot of these semifinals, it's going to be close, but I think he has enough to edge out Trumbull.
Yeah. All right, so for the backside, you got Moore and Zuba, right? So um Moore's been wrestling good. I mean, he wrestled Ferrari to a 4-3 match, right? So Um, I wanna see that story continue. He's a tough wrestler. He's beaten, he's beaten the guys in the field too, so I know he beat Katka in the duel. So he's a tough wrestler, he's a tough out. So I'm gonna pick Mora to go out of that one. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, I think he's just having this is his tournament to shine, and I think he's gonna do it.
So I love that pick. They wrestled twice at the Big 12s,
Okay.
and Zuba beat him both times. So he can get
Oof.
that he can get that revenge. Like you said, it's hard to beat the same guy 3 times, especially within
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Cuter Amos, right? Big Ten foes. I don't remember if Wisconsin wrestled Iowa during the year, and if Cuter even wrestled that match if they did.
I think
Um,
Keeter has a win over Amos. I think they've wrestled
in the Big
once and Keeter
Tens, right?
won. I believe so, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. He's wrestling good, right? So I'm gonna keep Iowa keep going, right? They're having a great tournament in my opinion, right? They're doing well. So I'm gonna go Keeter in that one. Uh, Doucette and does that say Pitzer?
Yep, Pitzer, Dayton Pitzer,
Alright.
Pitt.
Yeah, from Pitt. Okay. Um, yeah. I still think Doucette takes him. Um, you know about how David Taylor prepares his guys, and it's similar to what Kale does. He's a product of Kale, and I think he gets Doucette to be an All American this year, and he gets by Pitzer. Um, so Kaka Carroll, right? Um, I've been thoroughly impressed with what Carroll can do. I mean, he beat Mirasola. He did he lose his first round match
He
too?
did. I was gonna say the two here that lost their first round were Amos and Carroll.
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, and this is, obviously, I love Rutgers. Um, I would always try to homer, but I think actually Carroll wins here. I think he's wrestling great. I think he wrestled great all year. I just think he had like a bad Big 12s. He had a bad first match, and I think he's riding that ship. He's like, man, I can't keep doing this, so I'm gonna go with Carroll on
I like it. I like your picks. I was ready to tell you I didn't agree with Kako over Carroll because I
that.
figured that was gonna be coming, but all the others, I think we've got some good matches here. I think even Pitzer Doucette will be a close match. I've liked Pitzer over the past couple years. It'll be interesting to see for sure, but you know, Blood Round always is a high emotion, and there's definitely going to be some guys that lose and don't All American that you would have swore were going to All American coming to the tournament. I mean, a couple of those guys have already lost, right? But once you make it this far, these four matches in each bracket are just so much on the line. So it's always fun to watch when they got the dog bone set up.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is gonna be a hell of a round, and man, that blood round is so exciting. It's probably the best round of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be exciting. That's coming up at 8 Eastern tonight. We will have a video out after that. We'll have a couple actually. We're going to do just a reaction to the semifinals, and then we're going to look ahead to the finals and kind of give our picks for those. But otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yep, see ya.